Hey guys, it's Miss Barr. Now, I'm still not well enough to go to school, but I should be there by Friday. And by Friday, you guys should be done with this assignment and you guys will be taking the PSAT. Don't forget, you do have the PSAT. Your history teachers have your testing locations. Make sure you get that from them. Now, little ones, things that I've learned in being sick for a day. One, you all refuse to read instructions. B, we really do need to block that stupid Google site with all the games on it. And C, y'all are going to fail this if you don't work real hard in the next 2 days. So let us go take a look. Now, this is our unit assessment. There's a couple things on this assessment, so let's go right on into it. Now, first, I have an entire set of instructions that tell you exactly what I want. Then I've got a copy of the speech that you need to annotate. Then I have the YouTube link of the speech that I want you to annotate. Because, I'm like that. Now, even with all of that, I still have people who are like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, read, my loves. So here we go. Directions. For this assignment, you will be using the text, this one here, What My Students Really Need to Hear, by Chase Milk. And I am as a model text to write your own speech about what you think teachers need to know about the modern high school student experience. We have to put a very big kibosh on this, but we'll talk about it in a second because I started reading what you guys are writing. This is not a diss track, my loves. And more specifically, the experience of students at Turlock High School. Now, I did give you guys clickable links just in case you didn't notice the links that I put in the actual assignment. Now, here are the requirements, and oh, does it get fun. Understand the rhetorical situation. The first step of this project is to understand the model text. As a class, we'll go through the text and understand the rhetorical situation and appeals that Milk uses. Since I am not there, you cannot do this as a class, but this will come as close to that possibility as possible. This is an important step because you will need to consider your rhetorical situations, what appeals to you want to use in your speech. So we're going to go take a look at this puppy. So the first thing we need to read is actually read through the entire piece. Now, remember when we talked about how people will use pathos, ethos, and logos? Remember when we talked about there's a theme that runs throughout? Well, you're going to have to discover the theme, and you're going to have to look at the way that this gentleman actually puts his argument together. Now, you'll notice the first stanza here that we have to take a look. It's 4 a.m. I've struggled for the last hour to go to sleep, but I can't. Yet again, I am tossing and turning, unable to shut down my brain. Why? Because I am stressed about my students, really stressed. I'm so stressed that I can only think to write down what I really want to say, the real truth I've been needing to say, and vow to myself that I will let my students hear what I really think tomorrow. So when you write this first stanza, you are going to explain the situation that you're in. Now, whether you want to do a very similar thing to him and talk about how these things are ideas that go through your head and you need to have the voice, put a voice to them, or if you want to be like Miss Barr is making me do this, whichever way makes you happy. You seriously do need to, at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, go over here, hit the little comment button, and actually put down, okay, I need to explain why I'm putting these things down. Now, the next stanza. This is the stanza, my little one. This is what my students really need to hear. So we're just going to change this to, this is what my teachers really need to hear. Now, he always starts with a first. So first you need to know right now that I care about you. In fact, I care about you more than you may care about yourself. And I care not just about your grades and your test scores, but about you as a person. And because I care, I need to be honest with you. Do I have permission to be honest with you, both in what I say and how I say it? Now, if you take a look here, you're going to notice two things, two huge motifs. One, remember that comment right there? One, he makes a declarative statement. He makes sure that the audience, his students, understand his feelings towards them. Now, if you're going to be talking about your teachers, you need to make this declarative statement as well, whether it is in hate or jest, or whether it is in love and compassion, whether it is going to be something that you share with every teacher you ever know. How about we go for the majority? Okay, guys? Now, he also says, before, he makes this declarative statement of his true feelings for the audience, then he asks permission to say what he feels. Okay? Then the next one. This stanza is very short, but here's the thing. I lose sleep because of you every week. Now, you'll notice that it's rather accusatory. It means he's actually like almost accusing them of robbing him of sleep. But we find out later, not in the way that anyone would actually think. It's not because he stays up all night grading. It's because he actually thinks about them as a person and worries about their lives. Now, but it's a very nice, very intricate, extraordinarily subtle way of writing here. And then we get to our next stanza. Before I tell you why, you should understand the truth about school. You see, the main event of school is not the academic learning. It never has been, it never will be. And if you find someone who is so passionate in claiming that it is about the academics, that person is lying to himself or herself and may genuinely believe that lie. Yes, algebra, essay writing, Spanish, and judicial process are all important and worth knowing, but they are not the main event. So the first thing he does here is he actually says, why is school important? He defines, remember that little comment button that's right there? Isn't it pretty? Just a thought. Is he actually defines for us what is school. He tackles not only the idea, first he tackles the idea of what people think school is about, but he declares that it is not about this. Now, is this something you can do? Most definitely, but is it a little too close to copying? It might be. If you want to just move into this is what the main event is, please feel free. But yeah, first thing he does is he acknowledges what school is supposed to be about. Then he tells us what the real meaning of school is. The main event is learning how to deal with the harshness of life when it gets difficult, how to overcome problems as simple as forgotten locker room combination or obnoxious peers, to gossip to the people doubting you, to asking for help in the face of self-doubt, to pushing yourself to concentrate on a million more thoughts and temptations and our fingertips away. So he tells you the main event. Now, I love you all, and I want you to really look at this. Why do we have school? What is the true purpose of education in America? Now, you can say that it's academics, you can say that it's socialization, you can say a million and one different ways. But, and I would just like to remind you once again that there's that beautiful comment button right there, that he here defines what school really is for. Now, he tells us how we are preparing you for life. Is it your resilience in conquering the main event, adversity, that truly prepares you for life and after school? Because, mark my words, school is not the most challenging time you will have in your life. You will face far greater challenges than these. Sure, you'll have times where more amazing than you can imagine, but you will also confront incomparable tragedy, frustration, and fear in the years to come. So he tells them, like, look, this is a lesson that's valuable. This is what is really school is about and why it is important. He's trying to tell them this is life lessons. Don't just take the curriculum that you're given. Take the way that you're taught. Take the way that you're seen. Take the way that you judge. Take the way that you speak and you listen and you hear and you're a friend and you're a daughter and a son and a sibling and a child of your parent, and realize that what you learn in school, how does that apply to all those roles? Up next. But you shouldn't be worried about the fact that you will face it again, face great adversities. You should be worried because you're setting yourself up to fail at overcoming them. Here's the real reason I lose hours of sleep worrying about you. You are failing the main event of school. You are quitting. You may not think you're quitting, but you are, because quitting wears many masks. So now he's saying, this is why I'm worried. This is why I think you are not doing your best. And it's because you quit. I do agree with this on some tones. I love it when students tell me, well, I'll try to do it. No, I'm really big on Yoda here, man, guys. It's the entire idea of, hey, I'm going to do it. Now, if you fail short, fine. But sometimes people think, oh, I'll try. Well, are you really trying? Or are you just doing a little bit of effort to say that you did? Just a thought. For some of you, for some, you quit by throwing the day away and not even trying to write a sentence or a fraction because you think it doesn't matter, or you can't be there, or there's no point. But it does. That you write is not the main event. The fact that you take charge of your own fear and doubt and own what in order to write when you're challenged, that is the main event. So he gives them a demonstration. This is very good. And remember, we have that comment thing right here. He sits here and he tells us, okay, this is why this is one way that you are failing at this. This is one way that you're not meeting that expectation. Now let's continue on. Some of you quit by skipping class to your free education. Being punctual to fit the mold of the classroom is not the main event of showing up. Again, we get that idea. This is not the main reason. This is not the main event. That is, again, parallelism. We're going to go back to that original, this is the main event, over and over and over again. The main event is delaying your temptation and investing in your own intelligence, understanding that sometimes short-term pain creates long-term gain, and that great people make sacrifices for the greater good. So again, we say in the first sentence how they lost and what the real lesson is. For others, you quit by being rude and disrespectful to adults in the hallway who ask you to come to class. So again, I'm going to tell you how you failed this lesson, and I'm going to tell you why it's important. Bowing to authority is not the main event. Again, they're not saying, hey, this is the reason why we're doing it. No, the main event is learning how to problem solve maturely, not letting your judgment be tainted by the stains of emotion. It's okay. I know some of you guys are going to take a real big honking problem with this particular last segment, and I totally understand where you're coming from. I see some of you quit by choosing not to take opportunities to work harder and pass a class, no matter how far down you are. The main event is not getting a number to tell you that you're worthy. The main event is pulling your crap together and making hard choices and sacrifices when things seem impossible. It is finding hope in the hopeless, courage in the chasm, guts in the grave. And again, we have this very interesting structure where we say how the person is failing, then we say what the main event is not, and then we define what the main event is. What you need to see, okay, so we're going to leave that parallel structure behind. We did it for several paragraphs here, right? So we did it for 1, 2, 3 whole stanzas. We had that parallel. So we're going to leave that parallel, but you should have at least 3 stanzas with that parallel. And then we go to this particular setup. I see some of you quit by choosing not to take opportunities to work on harder paths. Sorry, my bad. What you need to see. So this is what the big important part is. What you need to see is that every time you take the easy way out, you are building a habit of quitting. And it will destroy your future. So it tells me, okay, this is what that line of behavior is causing. And then it tells me how this is going to hurt. And it will destroy your future and it will annihilate your happiness if you let it. Our society cares nothing for quitters. Life will let you die alone, depressed, and poor if you can't man or woman up enough to deal with hardship. You are either the muscle or the dirt. You either take resistance and grow stronger or blow in the wind and erode. Okay, so we did that thing where we're sorry, I already said that. I won't be redundant. As long as you are in my life. Okay, so this is where we actually talk directly to the audience about going back to that caring moment. As long as you are in my life, I'm not going to let you quitting be easy for you. I'm going to challenge you, confront you, push you, coach you. You can whine and you can throw a tantrum. You can shout and swear and stomp and cry. And the next day, guess what? I'll be there waiting, smiling, and patient, and give you a fresh start because you are worth it. So you'll notice in this particular stanza, again, remember that little comment button that's right here. Isn't it beautiful? It says what you are going to do for that person. So what you're going to do for that teacher, for your teachers. Now, you'll notice the very quick, clipped way that he writes this final stanza. Everything else has a flourish and sometimes has a little bit more dynamic. This is a very, very short, sweet sentence structure. So do yourself a favor. Step up. No more excuses. No more justifications. No blaming. No quitting. Just pick your head up. Rip the cords out of your ears. Grab the freaking pencil and let's do this. So the last part is a call to arms. You'll notice that it tells them what they need to do. And you'll notice that, well, this of course is a contraction for let us do this, but it brings them back to a partnership. So we first have a how to change your behavior in quick, very succinct words, and then bringing us back together as a group. I hope this helps you, my loves. And no, there's not an extension. Now, then you're going to write your own speech. You're going to use Milk's speech as a model. You'll write your own speech, letting your teachers know what you think about school. Try to do small sections like Mike and try to emulate the writing style using second person you. You're going to talk in the second person. It almost never happens in American Lit. You can do this. For the purpose of this assignment, your speech must be a minimum of 1 page single-spaced and may not exceed 2 pages single-spaced. Mike's speech is almost 2 full pages single-spaced for reference. Yes, you have to use the same typeface. Yes, you have to use the same type. Guys, it's Arial. It's 11. Don't even think about turning it to 16. Okay, now here's the one thing I'm going to make optional. That's only because I'm not there to walk you through how to do it. And number 3, submit your speech to paper will be optional because I'm not there. We're just going to but just know that this means that me, am going to come back and am going to make you do the paper thing for your research paper. Just know. Then you're going to record your speech. I already left the link. It's in the classroom. Let me make sure you guys see it. It's right here. Everybody's got a different one. And it says speech Flipgrid. Okay, so that's there, my loves. And then paragraph analysis. Once you've written your speech, you write a separate paragraph analysis in which you explain the rhetorical moves that you made in your speech. You'll explain which rhetorical appeals and devices you used and why those were the most effective choices to make to a given audience. Remember, you're talking to people. You're talking to teachers. You're trying to persuade them to do as you say. Now, please understand and know this is not a diss track. You are not there, because I read some of you guys' samples while you guys were writing today, that this is not a diss track. Did you notice one more time? This is not a diss track. Okay? Now, you can write it to your teachers, to all teachers, to a few select teachers, whatever you choose, my loves. But this is not a diss track. Now, the paragraph analysis, and you're going to tell me, why are these the most effective choices? Did you use a lot of pathos? Because you know that we're all sentimental. Did you use a lot of ethos? Because you know that we're very judgmental and we're about right and wrong. Did you use a lot of logic? Because you're talking to your science teachers. I don't know. It's up to you. Now, the written speech is going to be graded and is 60 points. The video is 20 points, and you can't have a single error in it. If you make an error, you must go again. Each time you error, I'm going to take points off. And then the paragraph analysis will be graded in your writing category, and it's 20 points. Now, let's go take a look, my beloveds, at how I set up your final speech turn-in on turnitin.com, because you know we're doing turnitin.com. Now, we're going to log in because we love you. And if you guys take a look at your class, when you click on your class, remember, don't click on my name. All kinds of bad things happen. And you go down to the bottom, you're going to notice it says final written speech. Okay. It opened up yesterday. It will close midnight the 25th, and it will be closed. Now, the next day, you have 24 hours. So that's from midnight the 26th to 1 minute before midnight the 26th to get 15% off, then 30, then 45. There will be no extensions. None whatsoever. Now, my beloved ones. So you're going to write your speech. You're going to turn it into turnitin.com. You're going to do the speech grid because you're going to do the flip grid because you're awesome. You're going to do the paragraph analysis on this MLA formatted document. You're going to realize that the plagiarism indicator is on. And if you set up for one single solitary sentence the same as somebody else, it is going to be on like Donkey Kong, my little loves. Don't do it. But what I think you might want to spend a lot of time in is this. The written speech will be an assessment, guys. This is going to be a test. And that's 60 points, man. That will obliterate your grade. Video is also going to be an assessment. That'd be 20 points. So now it's 80 points in assessments, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. And then the paragraph analysis is 20 points. That's a lot, guys, in your writing category. A ton. Now, you must submit the paper by the 24th. You must submit the final draft by the 25th. That's the turnitin.com, guys. Then submit the paper by 24th. That's if you're going to do the paper. Listen. You're going to submit it to Paper, the tutoring service. This is optional. The final submit to turnitin.com is on the 25th. Submitting your video is by the 28th, and it does close. And then your paragraph is going to be on the 1st, but I'm asking for the 28th. I'm going to be honest. The 1st, I'll take it, but I really want to see what it is on the 28th. So if there's something wrong with it, I can send it back to you and we can get points. Okay. But I have done this, even though talking hurts so bad. I'll see you guys probably next Monday. I'll talk to you guys later. Be good.